Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another fun day in quarantine. As you can see, the quarantine beard is growing out even further. So it's about the perfect length for what I'm about to do now, which is unbox the Chemex coffee pour-over maker, whatever you want to call it. I really have no particular reason why I'm doing unboxing, because these things have been around since like the 1950s or so. They're not really new to anyone. A lot of people have them, especially if you're a big fan of coffee. I guess the only reason why I'm doing it is because this thing was like 48 bucks, and I thought, well, if I'm going to spend that much money, I might as well do a video. That's really the logic behind this. Let's unbox and see what we have. So we're going to start right here. So this is the 8-cup version. They were sold out everywhere online. The only place I could find it was actually, surprisingly, there was a ton of them at Whole Foods. Like if you try to get them from any other like online stores like Amazon, stuff like that, they were actually, it wasn't sold out on Amazon. It was just really expensive. It would have taken weeks to get here. But like all the Whole Foods had them, so here you go. Wow, that is beauty. That is nice. That is really nice. I've never actually I've seen one in person once, but I've never really played around with it because I don't really. I mean, I like coffee. I'm not really a huge coffee enthusiast in terms of brewing. I've messed around with like pulling espresso shots and stuff like that, but it's never turned out well. Due to quarantine, however, I've had to make my own coffee since I want to spend $5 for a cup of coffee. So been kind of exploring different ways of making coffee at home, seeing how good I can make it. What I really started out with was a AeroPress, which is just this little kind of plastic tube that you infuse the coffee with water, and then you kind of press it through, plunge it with pressure, and then makes a pretty strong cup of coffee. But then I wanted something a little bit, I guess, a little bit more mellow and of bigger quantity. So I thought I'd spring for the pour-over method, and I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, particularly of this YouTuber named James Hoffman, who was like the 2007 World Barista Champion. Very interesting to see his stuff, although I think he actually doesn't like Chemex, so maybe not the best representation. But anyways, this is, wow, this is absolutely stunning. I can see why it costs so much, and then it's got this collar around it too. It's really nice. And we got the filter papers over here. These are the circular ones. So I'm not really that familiar with brewing with Chemex. I went and watched some videos, kind of figure out what the process is. You're gonna discover along with me how terrible I am at making coffee. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this kettle over here. I'm gonna boil it at 200. This is a gooseneck kettle, which I had to also buy specially for pour over, since if you use a regular kettle, it doesn't pour out in a very controlled stream. So apparently you end up with bad coffee. So that's more money I spent. And these beans were expensive too, so I've just been spending money because it's quarantine and like I'm really, really bored. Great. What am I doing with my life? Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so what we have to do first is we got to measure out the coffee. So this calls for 42 grams of coffee. Got the scale right here. We got this Stumptown coffee. So Stumptown is a coffee roaster, I think, in Portland. This has apparently notes of candy and milk chocolate. I never understand these tasting notes. It all tastes like coffee to me. I guess I'm not at that level where I can actually, figure out all these like flavor profiles and stuff like that. It's coffee, but it's good. I like it. So, and I'm trying to develop that palate, so eventually I can be a coffee snob like all those people out there. Let's measure out 42 grams. Get it into Mr. Coffee. This is yet another thing I bought during quarantine that I didn't really need. Quarantine. So let's grind. This is actually a pretty good grinder. The only complaint I have about it is the actual electrical cord is super short. It's like, what, like less than a foot? I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, how are you gonna plug this in anywhere? I mean, that's seriously the entire length. Like that. That's the entire length. I always have to use an extension cable. I don't know why they would design it like that. Other than that though, for 40 bucks, pretty good, pretty good. We got the filter paper over here. You want the thicker part, which is 3 layers towards the spout. This prevents the brewing process from being stalled. We're gonna wet the filter. This thing is so cool. It's so cool. And what that does is get rid of the paper taste. Let's dump out the water. And we'll add our coffee. We're gonna get started. I've never done this before. I'm probably gonna mess up. I'll probably cut the video so you can't see me messing up, so don't worry about it. I have to keep pouring at specific time intervals and things like that. This has to be very, very precise. What we're gonna start with is we're gonna bloom the coffee with 150 grams of water for 45 seconds. Got the scale here. So we're gonna pour in water until it gets to 150 grams of water. We're also at this time going to give it a quick stir, make sure all the coffee is wet. You can see in there all this bubbling going on. So that's basically the CO2 being released from the beans. And I believe this will make it less acidic. Now that 45 seconds has passed, I add until it's 450 grams. Nice circles. Now we're going to finish it off at 700 grams of water. Look how beautiful this looks. I mean, I'm sure it's going to taste awful because I'm sure I messed something up, but it looks great. I'm going to have a great looking cup of coffee that probably tastes really, really bad. Okay, time's up. Let's pull this. There we have it. Pour over coffee. That is nice. That looks really, really nice. Let's pour into this cup and give it a taste. Alright guys, my first time making pour over coffee. Let's give it a taste. Overall not bad actually. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would be a lot worse than this. It's pretty mellow. Definitely a lot less strong than when you use an AeroPress. It's not too acidic, and it's definitely not very bitter. It's good. So I guess well balanced would be the word. I'm just saying these things. I have no idea what I'm saying. Pretty good though. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know why you just watched this entire video of me making coffee when I have zero expertise in it. One of these days on this channel, I'm going to make a video about something I actually know something about. But then I wouldn't be releasing any more videos. So you're going to continue watching me do random things that I have basically zero skill at, and you're going to enjoy it. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.